Magandang gabi po sa
Magandang
lahat.
gabi. Hi, Burns.
Hello po, Ma'am Kai.
Ikaw ay nasa
Cavite.
bayan ng
13.
13
At ikaw naman po
Martires.
ay?
Ako po ay nasa Quezon City sa Metro Manila. Kumusta po
Ayun.
kayo? Kung saan man kayo nandun ngayong gabi. Ilang episode natin, Burns?
Episode 28 na po natin ngayon at tulad po ng nabanggit namin last week, so ang Setyembre po ay Mana Mo.
Ano daw?
Mana Mo. Pag sinabing Mana Mo po, it's Maritime and Archipelagic Nation Awareness Month.
Oh,
That's right po.
MANA.
Yes.
Month. Okay.
Opo. Kaya ang episode 28 po natin ngayon, ang title niya po ay Mana Mo Na. Dahil
Kasi
awareness
September
month
na.
po. Yes.
Pasalamatan natin sa simula ng ating show.
Yes.
Ang CISO, ang Civil
LAPIS.
Society Network for Education Reforms or ENET, ang LAPIS, at ang Philippine Rural Reconstruction Movement, PRRM, at ang Senior City sa panahon ng COVID. Meron pa ba, Burns? Ikaw ang memorize yan.
Yes po, na-cover niyo na po lahat.
Okay. So, our our episode for tonight, hindi na natin i-show yung poster, diretso tayo dun sa sa meat of the of our episode tonight, which is yung Mana Mo nga, Maritime and Archipelagic Nation Awareness Month. So share lang po namin kasi syempre natin yan sa website. Very accessible po. Ito ay for 2024, ito ang kanilang nasa website. At kung makikita niyo po ang nasa ibaba ng Mana Mo na title, Pamana ng Karagatan para sa kinabukasan ating ingatan. So maraming concepts kaagad na dinudulot sa atin yung title na yan. Makikita po natin dito sa website nila kung ano itong Mana Mo. It's a proclamation, presidential proclamation noon pong 2017. At ang sinasabi po dito ay, ang context na binibigay niya, because we are an archipelagic nation nga, dagat na may mga pulo-pulo, may mga isla-isla, composed of more than 7,000 islands with over 14,000 coastal communities that are highly dependent on marine resources for living. So, yung sa context na yon, kailangan meron tayong pangangalaga, pagbabantay at pagprotekta doon sa mga natural resources that make us an archipelagic nation. So, kaya po ginawa itong proclamation number 316. Pwede nyo rin pong i-research yan, what are the contents of this proclamation, no? Pero, in short, okay ba, Birds? Panoorin natin itong maikling
video nila na
history
ng Mana Mo.
History of Mana Mo. Pakinggan po natin.
Ayan po. So, yan po yung mana mong history and ang pinaka nakuha ko po doon sa mga shinare nila, ang dami naman din po pala talagang activities, may pa-film showing, may AVP. So, madami pong activities pero ang goal din po talaga ng Senior City episodes po natin sa buong Setyembre ay i-celebrate po talaga itong mana mo or yung mana as Philippines as a maritime and archipelagic nation at maging aware ang lahat na hindi lang about West Philippine Sea ito kundi overall na um, uh, ng angkin ng Pilipinas in terms of our sea uh, and then protected areas sa mga ating mga karagatan and everything revolves around the ocean and the seas of the Philippines. And this year po sa Mana mo na campaign this year, this 2024, ang team po ay pamana ng karagatan para sa kinabukasan ating ingatan. So very, very clear po yung panawagan sa Mana mo campaign this year na dun talaga. And itong policy na po na ito, nung nabanggit nga po ni Ma'am Kai na Proclamation Order of Manamo, ay itong policy po na to ay para talaga panawagan para makabuo ng framework for sustainable development and also conservation and management po sa ating marine and coastal resources. So parang pagbubunyi din po ito sa mga natin marine science, sa nating mga experts sa karagatan na merong awareness month for this rich nature of the Philippines na under the water, under the sea. Naalala ko tuloy si SpongeBob kasi nasa
Tsaka si Finding Nemo.
Oo.
Teka, bigyan ko ng justice yung video ng mana mo. Tuloy natin ha, Burns. Kasi
Sige po.
naputol eh.
Oo, ang ganda ma'am eh.
Oo eh. Sorry.
Through the
Nako.
years din po yan, kaya mano mo history.
Yan.
Ayun.
Yun
Probably
para
next
lang po
year.
yung oo,
Opo,
yan.
madadagdagan yung 2024 naman na campaign.
Actually,
Ayan.
dami nga nung activities nila. Meron akong nakita na basa doon sa mabilis, pulography exhibit. Ano kaya yun, no? Photo exhibit ng mga islands kaya yan. Kasi pulography. So, grabe, no? Ang insight ko, ang yaman-yaman talaga nung ating, above water, underwater, di ba? Yan ang ating, at tapos isa ko pa pala ng insight, nakita ko dun sa video, life source kasi natin ng karagatan. So, nga naman, parang sa mga land-based naman, lalo na yung mga katutubong pamayanan, indigenous communities na ang life source naman nila ay lupa, yung mga coastal communities, mga fishing communities, ang life source din ay ang karagatan. Ganda, no? Sige. So, yun yung Mana Mo Month. Proclamation din po siya. So, ang episode din po natin ngayon ay to introduce the Mana Mo this September, yung Mana Month, ay ano ba yung mga ilang patakaran, batas that protect our seas, oceans, and our coastal resources, or bills that we want to become laws so that we can enforce our sovereignty, our protective strategies para sa ating karagatan nga. So, yan ang focus po natin ngayon. So, yung una yon, yung Proclamation 316 noong 2017. Okay, Birds?
Yes po. And may isa pa pong video about Mana
yeah.
na AVP din. And hindi naman siya ganun kahaba pero makikita po natin yung overall na hindi lang campaign kundi talaga yung bakit nga ba natin nasa-celebrate simula nung 2017 itong Manamo during
Itong
September?
2024.
Opo.
Sige,
Yan.
let's watch it.
Welcome to the Philippines, an archipelagic nation comprising over 7,600 islands.
Yan palang opening shot. Ganda na eh.
24 Maritime and Archipelagic Nation Awareness Month, or
We Again It. Yan, ang Manamo. Ibig sabihin ng mana. Naghang ata, Burns na? Did it? Okay. Okay na. Diba? Okay, let's continue. So yan ay, saan natin to nakita, Burns? Pwede naman din yung ma-search online sa ating Google or YouTube videos. Papakita lang nito, for September 2024, ano yung mga either nakaplano or nagawa na for the Manamo this September 2024. Katulad ng mga nakaraang mga taon, kung kailan sinelebrate din yung Manamo this September. Naghanga.
improve
Okay.
livelihood.
Sige. I-ano na lang natin, Burns, unshare. Can you unshare?
Yes, mangrove reforestation, coral reef restoration, and the establishment of marine protected areas are vital in maintaining the delicate balance of our marine environment. The Philippines' rich marine
Nyari, Birds. Technical difficulties.
Wala palang video sa audio sa inyo. Sa akin meron.
Meron naman.
Okay
Yung
po.
video naghang lang yata.
Ay, naghang.
Oo.
Ay,
Sige.
ulitin po
Okay.
natin. Or,
Pwede ulitin?
sige po.
Sige, go.
Ganda
Go.
po kasi talaga ng
Maganda
video.
eh. Maganda. Let's try it again.
Again and again.
Oo.
Sige po. Sana di na siya maghang. Ayan.
Or sa akin lang ba na? Yan. Go.
Welcome to the Philippines, an archipelagic nation comprising over 7,600 islands surrounded by rich and diverse marine ecosystems. The country's identity is deeply intertwined with the ocean, shaping its culture, livelihood, and economy. This September, in celebration of the 2024 Maritime and Archipelagic Nation Awareness Month, or Manamo, we recognize the importance of the Philippines' maritime heritage. Manamo is dedicated to raising awareness about the significance of the country's maritime and archipelagic identity, promoting sustainable practices and fostering a deeper connection to our marine environment. For centuries, Filipinos have depended on the sea for their sustenance and way of life. Today, this relationship is more crucial than ever as the nation looks toward the blue economy for sustainable growth and development. The blue economy is an economic development model focused on the sustainable management and use of ocean resources. It aims to balance economic growth with the health of our marine ecosystems, ensuring our oceans remain viable for future generations. The Philippines' vast marine resources offer immense potential, from sustainable fishing and aquaculture to marine biotechnology and ecotourism. The blue economy presents numerous opportunities for economic growth and improved livelihoods. Preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem is at the core of the blue economy. Initiatives such as mangrove reforestation, coral reef restoration, and the establishment of marine protected areas are vital in maintaining the delicate balance of our marine environment. The Philippines' rich marine biodiversity is a testament to the potential of the blue economy. By embracing this model, the nation can achieve economic prosperity while safeguarding the beauty and bounty of its marine ecosystems. The blue economy encompasses a wide range of activities. Number 1. Sustainable fishing and aquaculture, ensuring the long-term health of fish stocks and marine habitats through responsible practices. Number 2. Marine conservation and biodiversity, protecting and restoring vital ecosystems like coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds. Number 3. Ecotourism, developing tourism that is environmentally sustainable and economically beneficial to local communities. Number 4. Marine biotechnology, utilizing marine organisms for pharmaceuticals and other high-value products. Number 5. Renewable energy, harnessing ocean-based renewable energy sources such as tidal, wave, and offshore wind. Number 6. Marine transportation and ports, improving the sustainability of maritime transport and port operations. Number 7. Climate change mitigation and adaptation, addressing climate impacts on marine environments and coastal communities. Number 8. Marine research and education, advancing knowledge and innovation in marine ecosystems and sustainable practices. How can Filipinos in Germany support the Philippines' blue economy? Filipinos in Germany can play a significant role in supporting the Philippines' blue economy. Here are several ways they can contribute. Promote awareness and advocacy. Filipinos in Germany can raise awareness about the importance of the blue economy by participating in environmental advocacy campaigns, organizing community events, and using social media platforms to share information about sustainable marine practices. Invest in sustainable marine initiatives. By investing in eco-friendly businesses and projects in the Philippines, Filipinos abroad can support the development of sustainable fisheries, aquaculture, and marine tourism industries. Share expertise and knowledge. Many Filipinos in Germany possess valuable skills and knowledge in various fields. They can contribute by sharing expertise in marine science, technology, and sustainable practices through workshops, seminars, and collaborative research projects with Philippine institutions. Foster international collaborations. Building partnerships between German and Philippine organizations can lead to innovative solutions for marine conservation and sustainable development. Filipinos in Germany can facilitate these collaborations by networking and connecting stakeholders from both countries. Support educational programs. Supporting educational programs focused on marine conservation and sustainability can help build a new generation of environmentally conscious Filipinos. Contributions can include scholarships, funding for research, and resources for educational institutions. Engage in philanthropy. Philanthropic efforts, such as donating in marine conservation organizations or funding community-based projects, can have a direct impact on preserving the health of the Philippines' marine ecosystems. As an archipelagic nation, the Philippines stands at the forefront of maritime innovation and sustainability. Through the blue economy, we can ensure a thriving, resilient, and sustainable future for generations to come. Join us in this journey towards a sustainable future, where the ocean's wealth is preserved and shared by all.
The Philippines' blue economy promotes sustainable ocean resource management for economic growth and improved livelihoods while preserving marine ecosystems. Enhancing our maritime and archipelagic awareness ensures a prosperous and resilient future for all our coastal communities. Let's celebrate Manamo.
Celebrate Maritime and Archipelagic Nation Awareness Month, Manamo, by contributing to the preservation and prosperity of our marine heritage.
Nice.
Ang
Nice.
ganda.
Ah, parang made for Filipinos in Germany.
Yes, pero I think hindi lang sa Filipinos
Oh,
in
yeah.
Germany yung
Applicable for
Oo,
all.
to all. Lalo na yung 6 things na how we can really work and help in,
Totoo.
establishing our blue economy.
Para across places kung nasaan man tayo, across ages, age range, no?
Mhm.
Across genders, across communities, ito ay mahalaga para sa ating lahat. Oo, ang ganda nung kung maalala mo, Birds, yung mga binanggit din dun sa video, itong second video natin, were also mentioned by yung last week's episode natin about, ano nga ba yun? About the blue economy.
Mm-mm.
Oo. Yan, yung ang guest, pero recorded natin siya na conversation sa PRRM, ay si Miss Z naman Maglinong ng Tambuyog.
Yes po.
Ng isang project manager siya, no? At pinaliwanag niya yung ano ba para sa atin, mula sa ating perspective, ang blue economy. Kung maalala niyo rin yung subtitle niya ng blue economy ay luntian natin ito.
Yeah.
For the blue economy to be sustainable, hindi yan naman puro extract, puro utilize, puro maximize, kundi there are also some in fact all of its components or elements ay naka-green, kumbaga, na tinatake into account natin yung carrying capacity, ecological benefits also, etc. Birds. What is our next? So, yan yung blue economy. Ngayon, kasama dun sa shinare ni Zina, hindi ko maalala kung na-show natin ito last week's episode, yung bill about the blue economy.
Blue economy. Mm-hmm. Hindi
Meron ba
po
tayong
ata
Sige.
natin share yung blue
hindi natin
economy na
na-share,
ano.
no?
Yes.
Pero dun sa presentation ni Zina, dun sa ating conversations nung July, ay binanggit niya yung ilang bills at nag-focus siya dun sa blue economy nga bill na in short, no, yun yung kanyang shortcut na pangalan na let us share. Share lang po namin yung Senate bill on the blue economy. So it was submitted or deliberated on, tapos na-approve sa Senate nung at ang kanyang bilang o number ay Senate Bill 2450, sponsored by Senator Lauren Laganda. So, ang proposed ay an act establishing a framework for the blue economy, promoting stewardship and sustainable development of coastal and marine ecosystems and resources. Maraming bills ito na pinagsama-sama, yun naman kay Senator Estrada na Senate Bill 2377 ay an act establishing a halos pareho din ang kanyang title. So ito po ay naglalayo ng maraming bagay. May ilang kang ni-note na components or key features ng bill na ito, Miss Berna. Hindi ko na iisa-isahin dito sa bill na to.
Oh, yes
Just
po.
to say na ito yung bill number and the proposed title of the act.
Yes po. Kasi po, ang overall, po naman ng Blue Economy Act po na na sana po ay mapasa na talaga sa Senate is nagfo-focus po talaga ito for sustainable use and conservation po of our ocean resources. And ang pinaka-key points po dito sa bill na to is magkaroon po talaga ng economic growth and ma-promote po yung sustainable use of our marine resources and para po ma-boost yung economic development natin na hindi lang po nakatuon doon sa land base kundi pati na rin po sa coastal base po talaga natin, like the fisheries, the ecotourism, and then also the shipping po, yung mga kalakalan na sa underwater po talaga, or I mean sa water po talaga na transportation. And then other key points po sa bill is yung sustainability din po talaga kasi it emphasizes na dapat magkaroon ng balance economic activities sa environmental conservation natin. Kasi parang lahat na lang ng economic activities nasa kalupaan, and we forgot to utilize the richness of our ocean resources na mas madami yun. Parang ang Pilipinas ay napapalibutan po ng karagatan at may mga pulo-pulo. Yun po yung thinking po sa pagiging archipelago ng Pilipinas. And yung pangatlo po doon is innovation. So ini-encourage po ang lahat na mag-research. Yung nabanggit nga po kanina dun sa video natin about MANA, na marine research, marine science, and magkaroon ng innovation sa ating marine technologies and practices para po masuportahan yung blue economy at maging sustainable to. Kaya po, ang panawagan ni Ma'am Zina last time is greening the blue economy.
Yeah.
Or luntian natin
natin
ito.
ito.
Oo. Ayun po.
Naalala ko tuloy, Burns, yung mga natin, earlier episodes natin talaga, last year pa yata, yung nabanggit natin na ina-encourage natin ng mga kabataan na naghahanap ng kursong gusto nilang pag-aralan o program in further studies. Marine science or marine biology or marine policy na ito ang ating future dahil lumalakas ang ating pag-iisip at attention, hindi lang ng dapat pati ang mga mamamayan, hindi lang ang mga mambabatas, hindi lang ang executive, kundi tayo ding siyempre mga mamamayan ay magkaroon ng mas lumalaking atensyon para sa ating coastal, sa pagiging mana ng Pilipinas. Yan. Thank you, Bern, sa iyong mga insights dun sa sa Blue Economy Bill. Yan po yung isa. Yung kanina, proclamation na siya talaga, set na yon. Ito ay bill pa lang, so dinedeliberate sa House at sana ay magkaroon ito nga ng green elements or ng greening strategies para naman mas maging sustainable yung ating sinasabing development of coastal and marine ecosystems and resources. And let us not forget, yung ating coastal areas ay hindi lang yung karagatan at yung mga marine resources nga, kundi merong mga komunidad na nandyan sa ating coastal areas. So fishing communities, coastal communities who rely on the seas for livelihood and for their life. Yan. Sige. So yeah, that's one.
Ma'am, lang. Oo.
Sige.
Dagdag ko lang, ma'am. Kasi naalala ko nung nag-ano po tayo yung civil mission po natin doon sa Zambales.
Which one? Zambales.
Zambales po. Kasi sa Zambales lang naman po ako nakasama.
Ako din naman.
Opo. And then, nakalimutan ko po kung sino yung fisher folk na yun. Pero from Mindanao pa po siya, pumunta po siya dito para masuportahan po yung mission na yun. Pero nakwento niya po na silang mga fisher folks, parang bangko or ATM nila ang karagatan. Na kapag umiinda or nangihingi ng baon yung mga anak nila, mag-withdraw lang sila sa karagatan. Para magkaroon sila ng pangbigay doon sa mga anak nila. Kasi kukuha lang sila ng resources sa dagat, ibebenta nila yung isda man yun or kung ano man na seafoods. And then, kapalit noon, yun yung ibibigay nila or ipoprovide nila. So, pag walang kuryente, withdraw sa karagatan. So, ang cute lang, naalala ko lang. Na, yun, mga
ATM.
Opo. Yun po yung mga coastal communities natin na nakadepende yung livelihood po talaga nila sa ating karagatan. And itong Blue Economy Bill po ay naglalayon po na masuportahan sila in a sustainable way. Yan po.
Yes. Okay. Sige. So that's our second bale, no? So the mana mo as proclamation number 316. And then ito, bill naman ito, Senate bill about the blue economy. Balikan nyo rin po yung aming earlier episode about the blue economy. Doon makikita natin yung mga elements,
Mm.
how we want to green it, greening the blue economy. Okay. Ano pa, Bernadette?
Yes, ang pangatlo naman ay another bill na ano po na sana ay makapasa rin in terms of the ano, pero about pa rin po sa ating karagatan, ayan po ay yung Archipelagic Sea Lanes or ASL. And mamaya po ipapaanuhan namin din. Pero may papanoorin po muna tayong video about
Okay. Sige.
ASL
Okay.
po. Sige po, share ko na.
The Philippine Senate passes on third and final reading a bill which designates archipelagic sea lanes throughout the country. The measure was unanimously passed with 22 affirmative votes. The bill defines ASLs as designated sea lanes in Philippine waters where foreign vessels may peacefully pass through. The right of innocent passage was also defined as a foreign vessel's passage, which is not prejudicial to the Philippines' security. The bill's author, Senator Francis Tolentino, believes passing the measure along with the Maritime Zones Bill is now more urgent due to the frequent and severe aggressive behaviors of China. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. greenlights the creation of a cabinet cluster for education to address issues in the sector. Education Chief Sonny Angara says Marcos approved the move based on the recommendations of the Second Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM. The cabinet cluster will be composed of the DepEd, the Higher Education Commission, and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESTA. The Budget Department and Labor Departments will also be part of the cluster.
Okay na yan. Education na kasi yan eh. Yun lang, first part lang yung yung sa Archipelagic Sea Lanes na bill. Sige. Before I flash the text of the bill, meron kang i-share, Burns?
Yes po. Kasi yung kanina po nabanggit na kung ano yung ina-address ng ASL na to na bill, and emphasis po doon ay yung designation at management po ng ating sea lanes. So parang sa pagkakaintindi ko po at hindi naman ako eksperto sa karagatan. Oo.
Ako din, hindi.
Ang boses po na to ay galing sa youth
Yeah.
na napahapyawan at nabasa po yung proposed bill po na ito. So ina-address po talaga yung designation and management po ng sea lanes natin para kasi parang currently po wala po tayong designation na saan ba pwedeng pumunta or tumawid mga ibang nationalities in terms of their economic activities sa karagatan. And hindi lang China kundi meron pang iba na mga countries na lumalabag dun sa sea lanes kasi hindi pa nga natin siya na-establish yung designation na saan lang sila pwedeng dumaan, hanggang saan lang sila pwedeng pumunta, and ano yung paano natin na manage yung sea lanes na yun. So wala siyang concrete na dito lang na policy and everything. So etong bill na to is para talaga ma-address yung dalawang problema or issue na to, para ma-ensure din natin at the same time na protektado yung marine environment natin and yung resources natin. Yan po.
Oo. Ulitin ko rin lang ulit yung sinabi ni Ben. Hindi po kami eksperto sa batas. We are also learning these bills ourselves. Pero gusto kasi naming maintindihan din at ma-share sa inyo at sabay tayong matuto kung ano nga ba ito. Siguro in the future we can invite some experts or those who can really explain to us itong mga bills na to. Lalo na sana kung so ito share ko lang yung Burns, yung text of the title na lang, hindi naman yung text of the ASL bill, an act authorizing the President of the Philippines to establish the Archipelagic Sea Lanes or ASL in Philippine archipelagic waters, prescribing the obligations of foreign ships and aircraft, yan yung po yung sinabi ni Berna, exercising archipelagic sea lanes passage, yung mga nagdadaan through the designated archipelagic sea lanes and for other purposes. So yan yung gist nung proposed bill. At yun nga yung binanggit ni Berna, yung passage na lalo na ng mga international and foreign ships and aircraft. So hindi lang pala ships, pati pala aircraft na dadaan dun sa portion.
Another knowledge naman unlock.
Oo, baka
Oh.
pati UFO na ba? Sorry, joke. Okay, so yan ay ang ASL.
Yes.
Meron pa ba tayong
And
note sa ASL?
yes, ma'am. Kasi parang 2 days ago lang po ay parang
Oh, yeah.
nakaano po na-pass po sa bicameral. So, ito naman po ay hatid ng GMA News. Ang
Yeah, o
balita.
para mapirmahan.
Opo. Okay, technical difficulties na naman. Wait lang po ha. Ayan, ito na po siya. Ayan, ito na.
Aprobado na sa Bicameral Conference Committee ang Archipelagic Sea Lanes Bill. Sakaling ganap na maisabatas, paano naman kaya magagamit laban sa mga barko at eroplanong nanghihimasok sa ating teritoryo? Alamin sa balitang hatid ni Joseph Moro.
Inaprubahan na ng parehong Kamara at Senado sa Bicameral Conference ang panukalang batas na nagtatakda ng archipelagic lanes ng Pilipinas. Ito yung mga tila highway sa palibot ng Pilipinas kung saan maaaring malayang makadaan ng mga barko at eroplano maging ng ibang mga bansa. Itinatakda rin ng panukala ang mga parusa sa mga banyagang barko at eroplano na iligal na papasok sa Pilipinas.
Ito daan ito daan. So pag ito yung axis mo, nasabi ito yun, no? Yung sa gitna. Yung sa gitna. So 25 ka dito, 25 dito. Pag hindi sila nagko-comply doon sa, I think that's section 23, we can deny them access. Not just the, may banggit not just the PLA, not just and other states. Pag hindi nag-comply doon, hindi sila makakatraverse sa atin.
Ilan sa mga probisyon nito, maaaring mabilis na tumawid dito ang mga banyagang barko at eroplano pero hindi sila pwedeng tumigil, umangkla o maglagi maliban na lamang kung may aksidente o nagbibigay tulong sa ibang sasakyang pandagat. Kailangan din magpakilala lagi ang mga barko sa pamamagitan ng kanilang automatic identification system at tumugon sa Philippine Coast Guard at Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. Hindi rin dapat magbanta, gumamit ng dahas laban sa soberanya, territorial integrity at political independence ng Pilipinas at international law ang mga banyagang barko at eroplano na tumatawid ng archipelagic sea lanes. Ipinansa ang panukalang batas sa harap ng ilang mapangahas na mga patrolya ng mga barko ng China sa West Philippine Sea. Kaya bibigyang ngipin ito ang panalo natin noong 2016 laban sa China.
Is strengthening our arbitral award.
Timely, coincidentally.
Pero magagamit ba ito ng Pilipinas laban sa panghihimasok ng ibang bansa sa ating teritoryo?
It will have to be approved first by the International Maritime Organization. So pag na-approve ng IMO, isang global notice yan sa lahat. That ito yung ASL ng Pilipinas, you have to comply. And IMO is very strict when it comes to enforcement mechanisms. So pag hindi, mabigat ang IMO.
Nauna nang pumasa noong Hulyo sa BICAM ang Maritime Zones Bill na nagtatakda ng mga boundaries at sovereign rights ng Pilipinas tulad sa Exclusive Economic Zone o EEZ na karaniwang tinatawag na West Philippine Sea. Ang dalawang panukalang batas na ito ay target na isumite ng Kongreso sa susunod na linggo sa Pangulo para mapirmahan at ganap na maging mga batas. Oras na mapirmahan ang Pangulo, maglalabas ito ng proklamasyon at magiging epektibo ito sa loob ng 6 na buwan.
Joseph Morong nagbabalita para sa GMA Integrated News.
Yay! Wait lang, Burns, bago tayo magsalita tungkol sa ASL. Mag-shoutout. Shoutout daw. May nanonood sa atin from Kidapawan City sa Cotabato. Si Sir RG Sagira, siya po ay isang guro sa Lanao National High School, Arch, at ang kanyang mga estudyante. At nag-graduate na estudyante niya from high school. Si Josh, at saka si Vincent Kyle, at saka si Dimna Carlos Kadungon. O kung yan ba yung mga pangalan ninyo. Salamat sa pagnood. Sana ay maging interesado kayo sa mga maririnig ninyo ngayong gabi sa episode na ito. Sige, Bert. So yan ay yung ASL na pumasa na sa lower upper house at for signing na ng Pangulo. Sana. At least, madedefine, yung sinasabi nga po ni Berna kanina, madedesignate, ma-establish yung ating, kumbaga yung mga kalye, kumbaga yung mga daanan sa dagat. Okay.
Tama. So parang ano ma'am, kasi parang pagka sumakay tayo ng eroplano, parang yung aircraft or kung sino man yung crew or yung piloto, sasabihin na parang, nakarating na tayo sa ganito, ganyan. So, parang, okay, parang somehow related siya dito sa ano na to, na may designation na talaga at management ng ating sea lanes. So, pag lumagpas na sila ng karagatan na to, and then, ano siya, parang parallel doon sa air, sa ating himpapawid, then that's part of, the archipelagic sea lanes of the Philippines. And yung key points po ng ng draft ng bill po na ito ay yun nga po yung navigation rights natin, ma-impose po talaga yun at magkaroon ng ma-establish yung legal provisions. At ngayon po ay ipapasa siya sa IMO or International Maritime Organization. Na dati ang alam ko lang pong IMO is yung sa plant na ini-spray.
Organic.
Opo, para tumaba sila at mamulaklak. Pero may iba pa po palang IMO dito na related po sa ating bill na pinapasa. And then yung pangalawa naman po is, yung environmental protection po, of course, ng ating marine ecosystems. At para din makapanghikayat tayo ng mga kabataan na mag-go doon sa marine science, marine research. Kasi meron na rin talaga tayo, safe na rin sila. If they go further in that study. And then, regulatory framework po na magkaroon talaga ng monitoring and regulating activities doon sa mga designated sea lanes natin. So, mamomonitor natin kung sino yung pumapasok, sino yung lumalabas, may permit ba sila o wala, ganon. At ano-ano yun, mga ganon po.
Yes, yan. Parang ikaw na, Berna, maging eksperto in a few years time.
Mag-marine science na ba ako, ma'am?
Mag-marine science ka na. Di malayo. Bakit ba? Oo, yan. So yan yung may ginagawa naman pala ang Senado at natin at Kongreso. Okay? Okay. So yan ay ang ating pangatlong policy. Pero bill pa rin ito at nakasalang na para mapirmahan ng Pangulo for it to become a law and for the Philippine government to be able to enforce yung mga conditions and terms dun sa batas na yan. Okay. Shall we go on to our next? Berna? Yes na? Yes, okay.
Yes.
So I'll share ko yung ulit. Text naman nung ating ika-4 na i-discuss ngayong gabi at ito ay related din doon sa ASL. Tignan. Gusto mo muna magpalabas, Burns, ng video about it para pang-attract ba?
Sige po. Ito na po siya. Okay. Kasi na-cut po yung yung dinownload po. So, dito na panoorin.
Senators are seeking an end to China's continued bullying with the passage of the proposed Philippine Maritime Zones Law. The Special Committee on Philippine Maritime and Admiralty Zones elevated Senate Bill No. 2492 to the Senate floor on Tuesday. The committee's chairman, Senator Francis Tolentino, endorsed the measure for plenary approval, saying it is now the time to stand up for what is ours.
It is now time for Congress, particularly the Senate of the Philippines, to stand up for what is ours and take this fundamental step in ensuring that our national interests in Philippine waters are protected by passing this law that will govern the seas and resources of the Philippines for generations to come. It is time we take a stand against this bullying, Mr. President. With the passage of this Maritime Zones Act, Mr. President, we are taking a firm stand.
Senator Bong Revilla also stood up on the Senate floor to push for the immediate passage of the measure, underscoring the need to take both political and legal actions in order to protect and defend the country's sovereignty.
To say that it is timely that this matter has reached the plenary is an understatement. If you don't have power on your side, then it is better to have the law on your side. And the bill on the Philippine Maritime Zones is not only a good start in putting our foot down, it is hope to be the beginning of the end of all bullying.
Meanwhile, Senator Joel Villanueva said the proposed law will also form part of the legal, political, and diplomatic strategies of the country to enforce the rule of law in its maritime domain.
Ito po ay isang anunsyo na tayo bilang mga Pilipino ay hindi natatakot at patuloy na ipaglalaban ang sariling atin.
The passage of the measure will likewise serve as a declaration and a commitment to the Philippines' historic win at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague in 2016.
So, yun yung next bill, no? Yung Philippine Maritime Zone. Share ko muna, Burns, yung text ng bill, tapos saka tayo magchikahan about it. So, wait. An act declaring the maritime zones under the jurisdiction of the Republic of the Philippines. So, tulad ng may nagbanggit kanina yung UNCLOS, United Convention on the Law of the Sea, ito ay dahil siya ay international parang convention, ay hindi pa kailangan i-transform into a domestic law. So ito yung attempt of this bill on the Philippine Maritime Zones ay bahagi nung pag-a-adapt nung isa din pagkapanalo natin sa UNCLOS tungkol sa West Philippine Sea. So parang sa mata ko ay halos related siya doon sa ASL. Ano nga yung ASL?
Archipelagic Sea Lanes.
Yeah. Tapos ito naman ay Philippine Maritime Zones.
Mm-hmm.
What are your notes about this, Berna, in your research towards your PhD in marine science?
Ayan po. So, sa Maritime Zones Act po, ano din po siya, parang nababanggit din po dito or napag-uusapan po dito yung EEZ, yung Exclusive Economic Zone na nung nakaraan pa po nating mga episodes ay pinagpokusan po talaga din natin to ng pansin. At yung Territorial Sea or yung Archipelagic Sea Lanes nga din po natin na bill na na-discuss kanina. And yung ano din po natin, yung overall continental shelf po ng Pilipinas. Yung hindi lang yung Philippine area of responsibility. Opo. And then, dito po sa bill na to, yung PMZA. Uy, gumawa ng ano. Gumawa ng action. Dito po ang proposal po dito sa bill po na ito is magkaroon po ng ma-delineate po yung maritime boundaries po ng Pilipinas. And nakabase po dapat doon sa UNCLOS nga din po. And yung international law and conventions din. And then pangalawa po is nabanggit din po dito sa bill na to yung resource management natin na magkaroon talaga tayo ng rights for the exploration and exploitation of our resources within these Philippine maritime zones. And then, magkaroon din po or ma-define din po yung jurisdiction ng Philippine government over the maritime activities and environmental protection po within na kapag na-delineate na po talaga kung ano yung boundaries ng Pilipinas sa maritime zones niya itself. So, yun po yung parang key points na sa tingin ko na nandun sa batas.
Oo. No? Parang pag sinabi natin tayo ay Pinoy, kasama yun Kasama yung kalupaan natin, karagatan. Dahil yan ay ang kasama yan sa ating lupang tinubuan, pagka-Pilipino natin. So, dapat, feeling ko, inseparable siya from our identity as Filipinos. Okay. Meron pa tayong mga interesting videos na nakita about the Philippine Maritime Zone na kinapture din ng media dahil nga nakapasa na ba to sa BICAM at pipirmahan na or
Parang
hindi pa. So, ito ay kinapture din ng media at nagkaroon ng ilang videos. Na-capture din namin yung videos at i-share namin sa inyo. Okay ka na, Burns?
Yes po, ito pong isa.
The road won't be easy for lawmakers in legislating the maritime zones of the country. This was the sentiment of Senator Francis Tolentino as the Special Committee on Philippine Maritime and Admiralty Zones launched its first hearing on proposed maritime zones law.
The vast and untapped energy resources in the West Philippine Sea remain idle, with direct-to-bank alone estimated to have 165 million barrels of oil. How can Filipinos properly enjoy the bounties of the ocean and manage the same kung wala tayong maritime zones?
Tolentino says the law can be the basis for the new standard map of the country in response to China's 10-line map showing its sweeping claims in the South China Sea. Asia maritime expert Gregory Poling says the Philippines' claims are already well fortified under the international law and the 2016 arbitral ruling, and that a domestic law would only provide clarity on the issue. He also notes that with the increasing aggression of China, the Philippines and other claimant countries in the South China Sea should make it perfectly clear that their claims stand on international law.
It doesn't change the nature of Philippine claims. The Philippines is entitled to these claims. They are immutable, just as they are for every other nation under the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea.
But for attorney Neil Silva of the University of the Philippines Institute for Maritime Affairs and Law of the Sea, it is high time for the country to enact its own maritime zones law. Silva notes that the Philippines need to harmonize its domestic laws with that of the international community in a bid to garner further international support.
Kailangan natin ayusin ang ating boundary para alam natin kung ano ang kailangan nating ipagtanggol. Kasi kung hindi natin alam ang boundary at hindi natin alam ang batas within that boundary, ano ang ipagtatanggol natin?
As a result of the initial inquiry, Tolentino says a separate bill is being eyed for the identification of the country's archipelagic sea lanes to be consulted with the International Maritime Organization. Jorge Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
At may isa pa. Tuloy na natin, Burns.
Po? Sorry.
Lugtong na natin. May isa pa ba? May isa
Oh,
pa
may
ba?
isa. Yes.
About the Philippine Maritime Zones.
Senators are seeking an end to China's continued bullying with the passage of the proposed Philippine Maritime Zones law. The Special Committee on Philippine Maritime and Admiralty Zones elevated Senate Bill No. 2492 to the Senate floor on Tuesday. The committee's chairman, Senator Francis Tolentino, endorsed the measure for plenary approval, saying it is now the time to stand up for what is ours.
It is now time for Congress, particularly the Senate of the Philippines, to stand up for what is ours and take this fundamental step in ensuring that our national interests in Philippine waters are protected by passing this law that will govern the seas and resources of the Philippines for generations to come. It is time we take a stand against this bullying, Mr. President. With the passage of this Maritime Zones Act, Mr. President, we are taking a firm stand.
Senator Bong Revilla also stood up on the Senate floor to push for the immediate passage of the measure, underscoring the need to take both political and legal actions in order to protect and defend the country's sovereignty.
To say that it is timely that this matter has reached the plenary is an understatement. If you don't have power on your side, then it is better to have the law on your side. And the bill on the Philippine Maritime Zones is not only a good start in putting our foot down, it is hope to be the beginning of the end of all bullying
Meanwhile, Senator Joel Villanueva said the proposed law will also form part of the legal, political, and diplomatic strategies of the country to enforce the rule of law in its maritime domain.
Ito po ay isang anunsyo na tayo bilang mga Pilipino ay hindi natatakot at patuloy na ipaglalaban ang sariling atin.
The passage of the measure will likewise serve as a declaration and a commitment to the Philippines' historic win at the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague in 2016.
Ayan po.
Okay.
So, yun po yung apat natin na
Ayan.
ayan. Yan po yung apat na nag-gather po namin na batas. Ay, hindi pa naman siya batas or mga policies and bills. Apat po, yes, apat. From the proclamation order po ng ating Manamo, and then yung bill po for the blue economy, and then yung bill din po for the archipelagic sea lanes or ASL, at saka po yung Philippine Maritime Zones Act. And na nagsusulong po talaga na magkaroon ng delineation doon sa boundaries ng Pilipinas, and at the same time power and responsibility for the Philippines to exploit and explore our marine resources, and para din magawa natin yung environmental protections of our oceans and seas at the same time. Yun po.
At protektahan. At depensahan kung kailangan. Yan yung sinasabi ni Sir Edwin sa the way forward. Okay. So, yun po ang panimulang episode for September ng Senior City. Unang Sabado, dahil nga ito ay ang Mana Month, ngayong September 2024. Diyan po magtatapos yung episode, pero magsisimula ang patuloy na pag-aaral ni Berna sa agham at polisiya ng ating karagatan. Sana po ay itong mga susunod na Sabado o Senior City episodes ay samahan niyo pa kami, kasi tutuloy-tuloy natin yung talakayan natin tungkol sa ating karagatan, tungkol sa ating pagiging archipelago, tungkol sa ating blue economy, at paano ito luntian. So, yan po ang ating episode for tonight, Burns.
And bago po kami magbabay sa inyo, may isa lang po kaming video na papanoorin, and then tapos na po tayo. Next week po ulit.
Mag-share, Burns.
Sige
Ako
po.
mag-share. Okay.
Sige po, ma'am.
Ito yung kay Professor Espinilla. Yeah. Panoorin na lang po natin, at hanggang sa Sabado po ulit, samahan nyo kami. Salamat po sa inyong pagnood ngayong gabi.
At the end of my presentation. So we have, I just wanted to quickly point out that we have come a long way from the Treaty of Paris box, but we're not yet fully in the clear. There are still things we can do to safeguard the Philippine territory. And then two of them are legislative in nature. One, the enactment of the Philippine Maritime Zones Act. For whatever reason, hindi pa natin to ginagawa. So this will finally put to bed this issue of hanggang saan ba ang karagatan ng Pilipinas. It tells us definitively what are internal waters, what are archipelagic waters, what are up to what extent is our EEZ. Important po yan for a couple of things. Number one, for enforcement purposes. Magkakakumpiyansa na po ang ating mga our naval and Coast Guard assets, let's say, hanggang saan sila pwede mag-enforce. Kasi right now, hindi pa sila sure. Minsan nagkakaroon pa ng hesitation and doubt. Particularly troubling if you have confrontations in the South China Sea. It tells us as well, our agencies like BFAR, DENR, up to what extent they can, for example, create a marine protected area. It tells you how much you can harmonize your laws around these spaces, as long as there is clarity as to what you can and cannot do in those areas. The other important piece of legislation that is also in the works right now, ang tinatawag the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act. And here, the simple concept of this is, it's a way for us to plot the right way of other countries to go through our archipelago. as an archipelagic state, we occupy a position of privilege relative to other countries in the world. Ang laki ng dagat na na-enclose ng archipelagic baselines and therefore treated as our national waters, archipelagic waters. Siyempre, umalma yung ibang mga bansa. Parang daya naman nun. We used to treat that as high seas. We used to pass through there and now you take it away. So for us to enjoy this right and for them to sign off on us having this right under UNCLOS, we had to make a deal. The deal is, we will still let you pass through, right of way nyo. But the catch is, because it's our waters, we tell you where your right of way will be. Right now, we have not yet done that. And they are going through whenever and wherever they want, and that can be a problem. So by the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, just to simplify it, we will dictate saan po sila pwedeng dumaan through our country in a manner that is least intrusive to us. Hindi makakasagasan ng coral reef, hindi po makaka-aberya sa mga fisher folk natin, hindi po makakasira sa ating economy or our environment. So this is imperative because unless and until we do that, then it seems to be basically a free-for-all. So these are the two next legislative steps that we are currently working on in both houses, upper and lower house of Congress, and hopefully within the year or maybe early next year, these two will materialize and safeguard our national territory.